So many things on my helmet, oh my goodness. Alrighty, so we should have the Prism connected to the Sena 20S. It's a Sena Prism, by the way. And we've got the GoPro going. So we're going to test out the Sena Prism versus the GoPro 3 Plus Black. In the interest of being fair, I have dropped the GoPro video to 1080/30. Alright, so we've got the Sena Prism and we've got the GoPro 3 Plus. We've got the GoPro 3 Plus on my left side. I've got the Sena Prism on my right. I've also got my regular audio set up in my GoPro. So everything should be pretty normal there, minus the frame rate, which is now 30. I normally shoot in 60. Like I said, the Sena Prism can only shoot in 1080/60. So that's what I've done there. So what is the Sena Prism? Sena Prism is the action sports camera made by Sena, the typically known Bluetooth company. So they have an action sports camera, and you will see clips of it here. It's a good looking camera. The camera looks good, and I will say today is the first day I'm out testing it. The best way that I feel like to test this camera is to test what I typically use, and that's a GoPro. So we're testing it out versus a GoPro Hero 3 Plus Below. Wow, you're a horrible person. That audio would have got creamed. So anyway, we're out testing the camera, and as we have it right now, the camera is being tested against its typical viewing method. For me, that's a vlog. That's me riding around town with the camera attached to my helmet. The cool thing about the Sena, and like the reason you would, choose a Sena over something like a GoPro, is its seamless integration with your Bluetooth communication system. I personally use a 20S from Sena, and I absolutely love it. I play my music on it. I can answer phone calls. You can do anything on your phone you basically need to with a little Bluetooth communicator. They're getting a lot more popular in the motorcycling community. Typically, when I use my GoPro, I have a microphone that's fed through a wire through the side of my helmet up through my padding, and the microphone sits inside of my helmet. Well, when you install the Sena 20S, the Bluetooth device, you automatically install, or not automatically, you have to install your headphones and your microphone, wherever you need to in your helmet. So the beautiful thing about the Sena 20S, or the Sena Prism, the beautiful thing about the Sena Prism is that it connects with your 20S and just syncs your audio from your 20S to your Sena Prism. So if you're doing motorcycle vlogs like I am here, you can extremely easily and wirelessly use that audio. This is my testing of the audio. So what I figured I'd do, since I have my GoPro on, I tried to itch my nose with my visor down. Since I have my GoPro on like I typically do, and I have it wired to my helmet, it's always wired, it stays in there like that. So I think what we should do is go back and forth between Sena audio and GoPro audio. If I understand the menus correctly, the audio for the Sena and the 20S is on ultra mode, so it's the better quality audio, I think. But yeah, I'll just go back and forth between GoPro and Sena audio. That way we can kind of get a feel for what the audio difference is. And I don't have some fancy microphone on my GoPro. It's just some lapel mic that I personally found to work relatively well. I think the microphone on the GoPro is approximately, I don't know, $30 max. And then with a little $5 connector cable, and you got a GoPro audio fed through a wire. So depending on how this audio sounds, you got to kind of weigh the odds. Like, do you like the GoPro audio? Here, I'll shut the visor. Do you like the GoPro audio versus the Sena audio? You guys can tell for yourself which you prefer. I'm on a WR250X. It's not the loudest bike, so that's something to consider if you're going to be doing the kind of talking over yourself while riding. you got to consider that, like how much bike sound do you got? You know, can you hear the bike you're on? But once again, like I said, this is my first day out, and testing out. That's my chain. If you're wondering what that sound is, my chain is fucking all messed up. So, like I said, this is my first day out, so I don't even know what the video quality looks like. I have attempted to get the Sena Prism to look in the same angle on the opposite side of the helmet, as close to the GoPro as I can, and I have both cameras in the wide angle setting. So hypothetically, it's the same view from both cameras. They're both 1080/30. They're both wide angle, and they're both relatively close to each other as far as where they are on the helmet. Ideally, if everything works out like I expect it to, they will both be, you'll see the relatively same view, just kind of mirrored on one side versus the other. That's if everything works out right. If you're wondering where we're going to go into IKEA. It's an underground parking lot, so it's darker. Obviously, it's daylight right now, so I can't just like show you guys what it looks like at nighttime. When I can test that, I will. But for now, this should be a relatively good low light test, and you can test it along with the GoPro, because the GoPro does relatively well. And this is not the GoPro in low light. This is just regular GoPro. So you guys can see how it looks for yourselves. Kind of do a panning shot. Somebody asked me to sway my head back and forth to test how it gets motion capture. And if you want to do that versus a GoPro, you got to consider the GoPro can shoot 1080 60 frames a second, and automatically 60 frames a second is going to capture motion better than 30, because there's just, you know, there's more frames to grab that information. So let's get out in the light, and I'll kind of shake my head around so you guys can see that. I guess that's something you want to see. I mean, changing lanes and like kind of lane checking kind of does that as well. Alright, so I'll shake my head right here. Alright, so you can judge that for what you want. I did notice on the way here, I had the Sena connected to my helmet. I always have my GoPro connected to my helmet. It's just how I ride, and because 90% of the time I have it on, even if I'm not, you know, making a video. I did notice on the highway there is a significantly less drag on that side of the helmet. It's also lighter. I will note that I did not have the waterproof case on the Sena. I did not have that on, so that would add some weight, because obviously the GoPro is in its case. The GoPro has to be in its case. So yeah, the Sena obviously it's similar to the Drift Innovation Ghost S, I guess, is one of the latest ones, where it has the camera lens mounted on the thinnest side of the camera. And what that does is really helps out with drag when you're, especially when it's on your helmet and you're holding your helmet up by your neck, which is not the strongest part of your body. That's a big deal. Are you just gonna come out on the road now? Like, is that this what you're doing? So yeah, like that's something you definitely have to consider when, you know, picking a camera. Do you want that drag problem that you're gonna have with a GoPro? The GoPro is an amazing camera. It looks fantastic. Hopefully that view will kind of prove that. But the one problem with the GoPro is the lens is on the fattest side. So in a situation like we're in right now, that's people that ride around and talk to ourselves with a helmet on, you have that flattest side of the camera just sitting in the wind. And, you know, it going around town like here, it's not bad. It's not horrible. But when you start looking into like getting on the highway with a GoPro on, you're gonna feel drag. It's gonna happen. The Sena Prism is not gonna have that as bad as the GoPro. One thing off the bat that I don't expect is the Sena to look as good as the GoPro. I feel like if I came into this with that expectation, that would be extremely unrealistic. I think the kind of question with the Sena is the wireless. Well, for one, is the audio as good as the GoPro, like wired in, wiredly? I don't know. Is that as good as the Sena's audio? I can't really say. I'll find out after I watch this video, honestly. But also with that, or on top of that, is the wireless worth the audio drop? I mean, I gotta be honest, it's pretty cool to be able to just have a wireless unit just on the side of your helmet. I'll show you something in a second that kind of makes me feel like that. So the thing you kind of got to ask yourself is wireless audio worth the potential drop in quality? And that's going to be a different answer on a person by person basis. But one thing I think is really neat about the Sena Prism and the wireless audio in general is that it just kind of opens up options for you that you wouldn't have had if you had wired audio. If that doesn't make sense to you, that's fine. I'm going to pull in right here and kind of show you what I'm talking about. A pretty open parking lot. Perfect. Alright, let's get over here so we're not like all up in the way. So I can't explain to what I'm doing, what I'm kind of trying to, tell you really, but alright, so I have wireless audio, right? I don't have a wire going into my helmet. Let's pretend that I use a Sena on a daily basis, and that's my main vlogging camera, and that's the main camera I use to record. I would have all the attachments. I'd have some bar mounts and stuff like that. So I'm vlogging. I get tired of that. Alright, we're still going. We're still recording. Hold on. If I can do it. I've never tried this before. There we go. And there we go. I can now look at my Sena. You still get the same audio. Yeah, and I can see it's now. You can see on the GoPro. I can see it's recording. I've been recording for 15 minutes. I can look at you. I could mount it on my bar right here. I could be like, oh, I'm going to talk, forward, have a back-looking view. Or let's say I want the audio, or I want to voice over, a side shot of me riding in the mountains or something like that. I can do that, and I can get to the top, and I'll have my voice over that, and there's no syncing in post. The hard part of this is going to be trying to get the camera back on there, which will be a... Oh, shit. Wow, that just worked. Okay. No, I don't want to say a command. I want to hear myself. Okay, testing. Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, so in clicking the camera over, I hit a button. Wow, that's really freaking cool. So I've got my Prism hooked into my Sena 20S, and I hit a button when I was trying to get the camera back on. Of course I did, right? It said like say a command or something like that. So I guess that was voice control, which is pretty freaking cool. Let's go this way for no apparent reason. And it didn't stop recording, I don't think, but it kept saying say a command. So I hit stop recording. It said like command canceled, and then it said recording stopped. It said that to me in my Sena headset, which is really freaking cool because now I am told that I'm recording. I'm told when it stops recording. You guys that have rocked out other cameras know that that's amazing, because even when you're recording, even when you kind of see that red light, you still have that little bit in your head that's like, am I though? Am I recording right now? Is everything happening like I expected? Being told I'm recording is pretty freaking great. Good job, Sena. It's a small thing, but that's a big freaking deal when you want to make sure you're recording. You don't want to waste the opportunity of riding around and talking to yourself. I will say one thing that's slightly annoying, and there's an easy fix to it. It's not a big problem. Let's go ahead and go. So right now I can almost get like an audio test of what I'm saying, and that's coming through my headset. I can turn my volume all the way down. So I guess it's a nice opportunity to have, or it's a nice function to have, and it's an easy fix. Obviously, like I say, you can just turn your audio down in your Sena or 20S, but it's kind of weird. Like, I don't want to be monitoring my audio while talking. It's just a little weird, especially when the audio is directly coming out of my mouth, and I hear with my ears, and then I hear this ever so slight delay. A little weird, but like I said, like it's a turn of a knob, and you turn your audio down on your 20S, and you can't hear it anymore. One of the biggest things I do think is amazing about the Prism, the wireless audio is fantastic, don't get me wrong, but the mounting system with this Prism is, for the most part, there's a little bit of inconsistency with the mounting options. They're not all like this, but for the vast majority, they use a ball joint system, and Wow, that's a fast stop. And why that hasn't been used before, I have no clue. Like, it's amazing. Like, even right now, I have my Sena outside of the case, and it's just attached to the side of the helmet, and it's clipped into a ball joint that's on a same little kind of clamp system that it uses for the 20S. There's a 3M thing I could put on the helmet, but I figured I'd just put the raw helmet on there with the clip, and I can take it off. It's not a big problem, because I'm going to show you guys in a minute the case, because there were some discrepancies and misunderstandings with the case, so I'm going to try to clear that up for you guys. Yeah, the ball joint's fantastic. It basically lets you get almost any angle you want with very minimal adjustments, like without having to get more brackets and more pieces and more screws. I'm referencing the GoPro, where if you want a different angle, if you don't want a XY difference, it's kind of, once you get a GoPro set in stone with a mount, you have one axis changing. So you have the GoPro here. You can only do it forward and back. If you want to go side to side, you're gonna have to get another axis put in. And it's not don't get like caught up on the word axis. It's just like one direction of rotation or movement that the camera can go. And having it on a ball joint just gives you so many more options than something like a GoPro. And what I also loved, when I opened up the box, I was kind of like laughing, because Sena, when I opened the box, it was the Prism, it was the case, the like clear case, and then a box for like helmet mounting or something like that, I think is what the box says. And then underneath that is just a compartment of the box with just every mount you could possibly need. I love the fact that Sena doesn't even try to sell you the camera, just the camera. They give you the camera and every damn thing you need to mount that thing anywhere you want. As a matter of fact, I've got the GoPro set on a bar mount from Sena, and I'll grab that out in a second whenever I grab some parking. But just the fact that they just give you all the options you could want I love it. Alright, so before I made this video, I asked you guys what you would like to see on the Prism, and a lot of guys were telling me, oh, show us the mounting and stuff. Why is he doing video? First off, I'm just gonna bring out my book bag of awesome. Look at this thing. This is something that comes in the box from Sena, a freaking dual suction cup thing. I'm totally gonna mount a DSLR to this at some point in time, whenever I get the balls to. But it basically comes with this little tripod screw, and you just click it in the top, and it freaking works. Just does. Oh no, I dropped it. The fact that this comes in a box from Sena is amazing. So because of that little thing that the Sena has, I have my GoPro attached with a tripod mount to that little bar thing. Before I show you the box, the waterproof housing, I'm going to try to attach this onto here, so that way we can have a little forward look. Can we do that? Is that a thing? Good enough, yeah. Let's try that out. This is what I love about this thing. And now, because of the ease of use, just loosen that ball joint up a little bit. And now, you can see I have it on this pivoting thing, but I have it on a ball joint from Sena, and now I have a new angle, which is awesome. Alright, that was one of my little goodies from the bag, and now we'll cut to that angle in a minute. A lot of you guys were talking about this mount, this giant piece of crap mount, but it's waterproof, so that's awesome. Well, here's the thing. Let's take the helmet off so we can show you. Alrighty, so now we have made this helmet as heavy as it possibly can be. So you guys will see in the front GoPro, we've now got the Sena in the waterproof housing. What's up, everybody, on the frontal GoPro? Oh my god, come on, handlebars, get with it. Oh, that pivot is awesome. Alright, so you can see the waterproof housing is now, the Sena is now in the waterproof housing, and you can do the Sena in the waterproof housing upright on a camera, on a helmet. I don't know where the misunderstanding came from that that's not an option, But as you can see, the Sena is now in there, and it should be, yep, it should, I can still hear myself, so it should still be going. We'll rock this GoPro out for a minute. I do want it to get it semi-stable though. I don't like having so many mounts on it, but whatever. Alright, so now we've got the Sena in the waterproof housing, which is also an option. What's amazing about that is the GoPro. You can see my GoPro over here. The audio cable is actually drilled out from the side. It's coming out of the side of the waterproof housing, so it's not waterproof. So if that smart gentleman's going to go around because he's smart. So you can tell the GoPro's not actually waterproof. If it starts pissing down outside, water can and probably will get into that GoPro. The Sena, however, is 100% waterproof right now, up to like, I don't know, 30 meters or some stuff. Something crazy, something you're not going to deal with it on your helmet. Anyway, guys, you can see the waterproof housing you can fit on the side of a helmet. I'm not sure. I read a couple people were like, well, why can't the waterproof housing fit on a helmet? Blah, blah, blah. Well, you can see, hopefully you can see in the little frontal GoPro, it can totally fit there. If you wanted there, obviously I didn't spend a ton of time getting it perfect, like set up and everything, but I just wanted to illustrate that option is totally possible, and it's better than the GoPro because it'll actually work. That's really the Sena Prism. I think I touched on about everything. You can judge the audio and what the hell? You can judge the audio and the video for yourself, what you think you like the most, because I mean, it kind of depends. Like I said, when you're deciding, if you're in the position where you're deciding which camera to go with, you got a lot to take into consideration. So when you're deciding what camera is going to be the best one for you guys, you got to consider a lot of things. The GoPro probably is the best looking camera out there as far as quality out of the camera goes. And I personally like the audio that comes out of the microphone that I use. Yes, I have to deal with it being wired, but I think it sounds the best, as like according to like how much bike you can hear, how well you can hear me. I think it's fantastic. I think the Sena Prism, what it has going for it, is definitely wireless. Wireless is a freaking giant thing, and is probably the main reason most people are going to be getting a Sena Prism comboed with a 20S. It's just a fantastic combo that work well together. I love my 20S. Could not live without it. I get very sad when it's dead, and the battery life is fantastic. I'm not sure what the Sena Prism battery life is. I've been filming with it and the GoPro all day today. I have filmed the exact same stuff with them both all day long, and the Sena's had the Bluetooth turned on all day, so I would expect the Sena's battery to be at least less than the GoPro, if anything. But that's just stuff you gotta take into consideration. Once I can do a night test with the Sena, I'll definitely do that. I'll also compare that with the GoPro low light and the GoPro with no low light on. And we'll kind of compare them all, but that'll be in a separate video, guys. So, my question to you, which camera are you going to get? Are you going to go with the GoPro? And remember, mine's a 3 Plus Black. The 4 is out. You can grab a GoPro Hero 4. I'll put links to all the cameras and all the stuff down below for you guys to check out. Why are we stopping? But if you guys want to check out this gear and grab yourself either a Sena Prism, a Sena 20S, or a GoPro 3, whichever one you feel like doing. I'll grab links in the description. But guys, I hope this video is semi-helpful for you guys if you're in the market for a camera. I really have enjoyed the... what the hell is happening? I've really enjoyed working with the Sena Prism. It's the menus are amazing. The camera is super responsive. We'll find out what the video looks like when I get done, when I'm editing this, and we'll also see what the audio sounds like. But from just a perspective of just working with the camera, getting it put on the helmet and stuff like that, I gotta say it was one of the easiest cameras to you know, get together, get working. Ironically, it's easier to pair a Sena 20S to a Prism than it is a 20S to a 20S. I don't know why that's like that. It's just how it is. But guys, I hope you found the video useful. I'm going to head out of here. Thanks for watching. If you want more Chase on Two Wheels in your life, I stream live on Twitch, play video games, and talk to you guys. You can go check out that link in the description. There's also my second channel, Chase on Two Wheel, or CTW 2. I put like the behind the scenes videos and they kind of chase off the bike stuff over there. And there's also my website, Chaseontwowheels.com. Between those three things, you should have ample CTW in your life. Guys, I'm gonna head out of here. Go play with this camera a little more. I'll see you on the next video. Take it easy, guys.